Okay, in this video I'm going to cover how to convert your Word document into an ePub and then pull the ePub into this program here called Sigil and clean it up for a better and smoother upload to websites. And in the second video in this short series, I'm going to show you how to use this same program to add a chapter graphic to your ebooks. Okay, so this is the website that I'm going to use to convert my Word document into an ePub. It's called Convertio.ca/files. Okay, so come over here where it says choose files, and then I'm going to pull in the docx file, open. All right, and it's pulled it up here, and I want to convert it to, open this box, click on eBook, and then ePub. So now it's all set up here, and I'm going to click on convert. And it only takes probably less than a minute to do the final conversion. Now, these converters, no matter which one you use, they tend to throw up a lot of crazy coding into the files themselves. So in the next part of the video, I'm going to be pulling this into a program called Sigil, and that's going to allow us to access the coding so we can clean it up a bit. So now that this conversion is done, you can click, actually don't click the download into a zip file, just click download and save it onto your computer. You can save it to your desktop or into your book file. I've already done mine, so I'm going to skip out of this. Now, the next website that we're going to be using, at least until we do the download, is this one, sigil-ebook.com/sigil/download/. This is where you come to download the program. So click on download. You might have to agree to terms of service. I've already done this. I'm not going to go through it again. But I'm sure you all know by now how to download a program. Okay, and once it's downloaded, it'll put an icon onto your desktop. You're going to double click it to open it up, and it's going to open up as sort of a new project. So if you're going to just write in the code, this is where you would start. But we're not going to be writing in any code. We're going to pull in a file and then clean it up using this program. So I'm going to go to File, Open, and then I'm going to open up this document that I just reconverted. Okay, and I'm going to click Yes, and that pulled in the name of the book. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make one global change on this document, and only one. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the title, and I'm going to highlight it, copy, and paste it in this first box. Okay, and then in the next box, I'm going to put the name of the book, Mother's Instinct. Now, every other correction that I make in this document, I only work from one file to the next. This is the only global correction I make. So in order to make the global correction, I'm going to come down here and change this from current file to all HTML files. And then I'm going to come over here where it says replace all and click. And that made 38 changes. That changed every single document over here to read Mother's Instinct. And in an ePub, that will show the title in the ePub file. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is some coding that I have created with a cheat sheet. And let's see if it's, yeah, here it is. Okay. There are certain things that I change in every single ebook, okay? And that's what all of this CSS is over here. So I have all of this CSS already prepared, and then below, I'm also going to, at the end of this video, show you how you can use a graphic as part of your chapter heading. And this is the coding that we will be using for that. So the first thing we're going to do is copy all of this CSS, copy, and then I'm going to come all the way down here, and in the folder marked styles, I'm going to open it up, and on the document that says Style Sheet CSS, I'm going to double click to open and go all the way to the bottom. After the last curly bracket, I'm going to go to the next line and paste. And that's going to put in all of my custom coding. Okay, and then I'm just going to click Control S to save it. All right, so let's go back up to the first one here. All right, so Mother's Instinct. Now, you have to look through all this coding and you will see Mother's Instinct. You'll find the name of your book here, okay? So next to where it has P class, in these parentheses, I'm going to change this to book underscore title. And that's going to coincide with all of this coding here. So the only thing you'll have to be paying attention to, since you're not a coder, is just what these are called. Most of these you're not even going to use, but they're good to have. Okay, so I'm going to shrink this one down. Okay, so that changed this a little bit. So the next one is my books, and that one seems like it's okay. So I'll go to the next one. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to find the Mother's Instinct, the title here, and change this inside the parentheses to book underscore title. Okay, and again, you'll see it changes a little bit. All right, and this is my copyright page. That seems to be okay. My main character list. Now this one here, I want this to be, okay, so this is going to be the H1. I'll cover that later. I don't want to get into it right now. So let's go to 5. Okay, and this is table of contents. Okay. Next one is chapter 1. Okay, so this is where I want us to be. Let's click on the next one. Okay, so this is the first chapter. All right. Now, this converter, Convertio, and every other one I've ever tried to use throws up all of these crazy span codes throughout your whole document. And that's really what we're going to clean up. Okay. So you can search for the first one, SPAN, and then just click on the microscope down here, and it'll lead you to your first one. Now, this one is usually the one that it puts everywhere. Okay. So I'm going to copy this and put it in the first box. Okay, and then replace, I'm going to erase. So I'm going to replace it with nothing. So I'm making sure that this says current file, okay, because I don't want to make this correction throughout the whole document. And then over here where it says, if I lean on this, it says replace all. So I'm going to click on that. All right, and then you're going to get this crazy pink box with error message. And why that came up is because every tag in coding has to have an open tag and a closed tag. So we just took out all of the open tags. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to find the close span, which is /span in these brackets. That's the close. All right, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to replace all. Okay, and as you can see, it took out 162 of these crazy codes that it had all strewn out the chapter. Okay, so that fixed it. Okay, now, so I'll do one more because then I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to do this change all the way through the whole document. Okay. All right, so let's see, what am I doing here? Oh, I'm looking for the caliber one. Okay, here it is, caliber 1. That's the crazy coding. All right, replace all. Okay, so it replaced 49. So let's go and get the closing span. We'll replace that, and that also replaced 49. Okay, so I'm going to put it on pause and wait for the time when these two numbers don't line up, and then I'm going to show you how to get out of that jam. So I'll put the video on pause right now. Okay, well, that didn't take long to happen. It was actually the next one in chapter 3. What happened was when I put in the caliber 1, it replaced 132. And then when I put in the closing span, it erased 135. So that means there are 3 codes in here that don't have beginning codes now. So the way that you resolve that is you go back to your find box and you put in bracket SPAN, no close bracket, just the SPAN, and you click on the find icon. Okay. Okay, now this is another crazy coding that they put in, that this system put in, so I have to get rid of that. All right, and then I go back and I look for another one, and here's the same thing. Just this is for nothing. It's not doing anything. So it's just a little crazy. And then one more time. All right, let's see. Yes, I do. Okay. Okay, and then as soon as it resolves itself, it will go back to getting rid of that error message. All right, and so then I'm going to go to the next one and do the same thing. Go back to looking for caliber 1 and replace 67 that replaced. And then again, the closing tag. Okay, and that was also 67. So I'm going to pause the video and continue going. And if I see anything else that's unusual, I'll come back. Okay, so this text file, I had another situation come up. Now, I use a different font and a little bit of an indent for texting in the body of the book. Okay. So when I erased all of the close span tags, it got everything messed up. All right. So what I had to do is go down the page to find out what could be causing the problem. And it's going to be one of two things. One, it's possible that when you're working inside the two documents here, the one on the left and the one on the right, you might by accident, inadvertently, delete either a paragraph opening or a close paragraph coding. Okay, so just check all of your paragraphs to make sure that you have an open and a close. And then also, I found this the quotes, and so that was all controlled with. Let me see if I can find. Yeah. I class equals caliber 6. Now, it might be different in your conversion, but whatever it is, you just find out which one it is. You make sure you have an open tag with the I class and also a close one. Now, there's one other little issue here. This one here is using the indent, which it picked up from the Word document. But down here where it says he looks like a nice guy, it's not using it. So I want to change that. So what I'm going to do is go back up here, and I see that this class is block 25. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this one here to block 25. And let's see if that indents it for us. Yes, it does. Okay, so that fixed that. So once you get all of your italics corrected, then once again, that pink box with the error, that will disappear and you'll see your chapter name. So I just wanted to mention it as I was going along. That's another problem that came up. Okay, so I went through all of the HTML files and I made all of the corrections. It went pretty smooth, except for the few times that I stopped to explain to you what you might encounter. So at this point, I'm going to save this as a simple file. And the reason I'm going to save it as simple, save as, and then I'm going to put here, Mother's Instinct. I'm going to save it as arc simple.epub. Okay. And the reason I'm saving it that way is because I intend to offer this at various different sites. And so I'm not going to put the graphics on the chapter headers for the ARC copy because it's tricky enough when you put it in the Amazon copy, but at least Amazon has a way that you can check it before it goes to publication. Whereas if I'm having it downloaded from different websites, I have no control over it. So I always save this as a simple format so that I know this is the one I upload to BookFunnel or to like a Goodreads giveaway, so anything like that. I just keep it very simple. I keep all of the chapters very simple. Okay, now the other thing that we need to do is I need to create a table of contents. And I am going to make two table of contents because in the ePub it refers to one, and I think in Amazon it might need another type, so I always do two of these. So I'm going to do table of contents, generate table of contents, and it's going to throw up all of my H1 headings, which is what I use on my chapter headings. I'm going to check and make sure everybody's here. Okay, it all looks good. Click OK. All right, and then the next one I'm going to do is table of contents and then create HTML table from table of contents. And it's going to ask me, you already have one, do you want to overwrite this? And I'm going to choose yes. Okay. And what it does is it changes it, but as you can see, it also changed the font. So when it creates an HTML table of contents, it also creates a style sheet to go with it. So I'm going to open the style sheet. And I actually am going to open my other style sheet so I can get the font family. Okay, I'm going to go back to the new one it just created. And for the title, I'm going to add the font family. Okay, and then I'm going to also add it over here by the level 1. Okay, and I'm going to stop at level 1 because that's the only heading that I use. It created all of these other ones, but I don't need them, and it's not going to refer to that in the coding, so I just have to change the one. And then this will match the rest of my font. Okay, so we've taken care of that. Okay, so I'm going to save again, and this is saving to my simple ePub. Okay, so this video went on for quite a while. So I think what I'm going to do is do a part 2. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how to add a chapter graphic using table coding. So we'll do that in the next video. So if you enjoyed this video and you learned something, I would appreciate it if you could give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.